It was a very cold December day in Washington, D.C. My family and I were rushing towards a Holocaust museum, and in all of the excitement, we didn't see the pothole that lay straight ahead of us. All of a sudden, I hit the ground with a big thud in the middle of the street. Now may seem like the time to panic for most people, like the nearby hotel doorman who rushed to the scene to help, while mortified onlookers just stared as my family and I were laughing hysterically. This happens all the time. But my family, they don't see my disability, but rather they see me as just another member of the family. Today, I would like to share with you some of my personal experiences about being handicapped. My goal in this speech is to make you more aware of disabilities and to change the mindset about people with them. To do that, we need to understand 3 things about being handicapped, whether physically or mentally. So first, we will look at the different aspects of mental and physical handicaps. Then examine the laws that affect the disabled. And finally, understand the emotional side of having a disability. So let's take a look at my first point. To start things off, I'm going to define both mentally and physically handicapped to give you a better idea of what they are. I will also draw a distinction between them because it is important to note that they are not one and the same. Mentally handicapped is defined by World English Dictionary as a general or specific intellectual disability resulting directly or indirectly from injury to the brain or abnormal neurological development. Physically handicapped is defined by the same source as a loss of or failure to develop a specific bodily function or functions, whether of movement, sensation, coordination, or speech, but excluding mental impairments and disabilities. Now, because I'm only physically disabled, physical handicaps are going to be my primary focus today, but these definitions should help you to clarify between them. Because while both disabilities do stem from the brain, a mental disability affects your brain activity, intellect, and nerves, something like Asperger's or autism. Whereas a physical disability just affects your body, like muscular dystrophy and cerebral palsy. It is important to understand this because too often when people see someone in a wheelchair, they react by communicating in a simplistic manner. But just because somebody is in a wheelchair doesn't mean that they should be treated as less intelligent, because my physical disability does not affect my brain at all, just my physical ability. And I'm not entirely sure I should even call it a disability, especially when considering that my upper body is twice as strong as a normal 18-year-old. So now that you understand a little more about disabilities, let's go ahead and take a look at the laws that directly affect them. Much like the civil rights movement before it, the disability rights movement began in the late 1950s and fought the idea that people with disabilities needed to be institutionalized. Instead, they fought for the rights of these citizens. And for the past 50 years, this cause has helped to inspire and establish the core ideas that you see today, such as the Americans with Disabilities Act that was established in 1990. Under this law, employers must allow an individual with a disability to apply for a job and provide him or her with the necessary accommodations to ensure success in the workplace. Governments and federal agencies must establish policies and privileges available to all citizens, and public buildings and transit must provide the services of ramps, elevators, and parking spaces. Laws like these are vital, and they have helped spread awareness about people with disabilities. And that is why the United States is the best place to live. Unfortunately, there are still some major areas for improvement, because in my experiences, I have seen many places actually push snow into handicap parking. Ramps are often placed on the opposite side of the disabled person's exit, and believe it or not, I've also witnessed fake service dogs. And according to the Chicago Sun-Times, there had been 60 cases in September and October alone where able-bodied people have parked in handicap parking. All of this happens because there are no specific criteria that have to be met before obtaining a service dog or handicap parking permit. Now, obviously, there is always room for improvement, but overall, the Americans with Disabilities Act has significantly enhanced my living standards, and I am very grateful. So far, we have looked at the different aspects of mental and physical handicaps, and we understood the law. So, now let's go ahead and take a look at my third and final point, understanding the emotional side of having a disability. At the beginning of this speech, I said that I wanted to make you more aware of people with disabilities and how you should treat them. I have had cerebral palsy from the waist down ever since I was born. So naturally, I have a lot of experiences and interesting encounters daily. But before I go any further, I would like to make one thing very clear. I am perfectly okay. I am just a normal 18-year-old boy who loves sports, loud music, and girls. And as a senior in high school, I just start thinking about college applications, SAT scores, and about 1 million essays. But people don't often get that. Their automatic response is to talk to my mom and ask her how old I am. Or literally get 2 inches away from my face and talk to me like I'm 2 years old. To which I respond, "Hi, I'm Josiah." And then they get it. There is nothing wrong with me. I'm happy. And that is something I really want to share with you, because people also feel the need to pray for me, even claiming that I don't have enough faith. And that is why I'm in a wheelchair. Now, please don't misunderstand me, because I know that prayer can do powerful things. But if you're going to pray for me to be healed of my burden, then I would rather not receive your prayers. Because this is the way that God created me, shapes and all. This is how I was meant to be. And this is not a burden. In fact, being handicapped has many perks, including close parking spots, free movies, the front of the line at Disneyland, VIP passes at concerts, and considerably less chores. But the most important part of my disability is that I'm able to reach out to people in powerful ways, inspiring them to be open-minded and to not limit the endless possibilities that God has in store for all of us. Today, I hope you gain understanding, because we are not looking for special treatment, just acceptance. Yes, I have a disability, but it doesn't hold me back. Psalms 139:14 says, "I praise you, O Lord, for I am fearfully and wonderfully